So we've all seen AI chatbots, right? They're pretty much everywhere. But here's the thing. They're just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to break down how you level up from a simple chatbot to what's basically a full digital team, all based on the amazing principles from Sam Bhagwat's work on AI agents.
Okay, so ChatGPT is incredible, no doubt about it. But that's really just the starting line. To build truly intelligent AI applications, we have to think way bigger. So we're going to frame this whole journey as a series of level ups, taking us from a basic bot all the way up to something way more sophisticated.
All right, let's dive into level 1. This is the first and maybe the most important leap we have to make, going from a standard large language model to a real AI agent. This is where we stop thinking in terms of simple, one-off questions and answers.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. A basic LLM, it's like a contractor. You give it one job, it does it, and then poof, it has no memory of you. But an AI agent, now that's like a full-time employee. It sticks around, it remembers what you talked about yesterday, and this is the key part, it can actually use tools to get stuff done.
So this is a super important point. An agent isn't some totally new kind of model. It's actually a clever layer that we build on top of an LLM. And it's that layer that turns it from just an answer machine into a system that can actually take some initiative and perform tasks out in the world.
Okay, so we've hired our AI employee. Great, but, an employee who just shows up with no tools and no memory, they're not going to be very useful, are they? So for level 2, we need to equip our agent for the real world. We need to give it some superpowers.
Right, think about it. The agent itself is basically just a brain, a really smart brain, but it's stuck in a jar. To do anything useful, it needs a way to interact with the world and a way to remember what it's done. So we've got to give it a couple of essential upgrades.
And those superpowers are tool calling and memory. Tool calling is like giving the agent hands. It lets it, actually do things, call an API, search a database, you name it. And memory? Well, that gives it a persistent understanding of the conversation, so it's not starting from zero with every single interaction.
This quote here really gets to the heart of a big idea. When you're building an agent, you don't just dump a massive pile of raw data on it. That's a bad move. Instead, you think like an analyst. You break the problem down into small, specific tasks and build a tool for each one. Like the example here. Instead of giving it the whole library, you give it a tool called Get All Books by Genre. So much cleaner, so much more effective.
And the memory part is just as clever. See, it's not just a giant, messy log of everything that's ever been said. A good agent uses what's called hierarchical memory. It's smart. It looks at the most recent things you've talked about and pulls in the most relevant stuff from its long-term memory. Kind of like how our own brains work, right?
All right, level 3, our agent is getting pretty capable now. It has tools, it has memory, but its knowledge is still stuck in the public domain. It only knows what it was trained on. So the big question is, how do we let it in on your private stuff, your company's internal data?
And that's a huge hurdle, isn't it? Your LLM has no clue about your internal docs, your emails, your code. The solution to this is a really powerful technique that's become a cornerstone of AI engineering. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or as everyone calls it, RAG.
So what is RAG? In simple terms, it's what lets your agent become an expert on your specific information. It searches through all your private documents, pulls out the most relevant little pieces for whatever the user is asking, and then feeds that context to the brain to generate a super informed answer. And this is the standard playbook for how it all works. It's a 5-step process. First, you chunk your big documents into smaller pieces. Then you embed them, turn them into numbers so a computer can search them. Next, you query that database to find the chunks that are similar to the question. You re-rank those to get the absolute best ones. And finally, you synthesize an answer using all that juicy context. It looks complicated, but it's a really logical flow. Okay. We are almost at the top. Our single agent is now a total rock star. It's got tools, memory, and access to private knowledge. It's your star employee. But some jobs are just too big for one person, even a star. And that brings us to the final level up, building an entire AI team. Think about it. Some problems are so complex, they need a whole bunch of different skills. A single agent, even a smart one, might get overwhelmed. So, what do engineers do? They turn to multi-agent systems. And yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A team of AIs all working together.
And the best way to think about this is like any team at a real company. You don't have one person trying to do marketing and engineering and sales, right? No way. You have specialists. Multi-agent systems do the exact same thing. You create a bunch of specialized agents that collaborate to tackle a bigger goal.
A really common way to set this up is called the agent-supervisor pattern. It's classic management, really. You've got a publisher agent who acts as the manager, overseeing the whole project. It gives a task to a copywriter agent, the specialist, who writes a draft. Then that draft gets passed to an editor agent for review and polish. It's like a little digital factory.
So, when you look at this whole journey, from a simple little chatbot all the way to a coordinated team of digital specialists, it really changes how you think about building with AI. It leaves us with this really cool question to chew on. As this tech gets more and more powerful, are we just building better tools? Or are we actually becoming the first generation of managers for these digital teams?